Welcome back to Fade the Mahoney. This is the official gambling preview of MLW's World Series between the Eastern Eagles and the Metro Magic. It's going to be Trevor and I here real quickly before we have some special guests. Jimmy Knorp, Grant Miller, Dallas Allen. All following you, Trevor. How you doing, buddy?
How am I how am I supposed to do the lead up to that?
Yeah, that's why it'll be short. First off, congratulations to the Eagles and the Magic. Preseason, out of the 8 teams, Eagles were our fifth ranked team at 7-1 odds, and Magic were seventh at 20-1. So, pretty good overcoming of the odds.
Sounds like we did a bad job.
Yeah, and we don't even have to bet on this series because we have a de facto bet in that the Eagles were the last team you took in our postseason draft, and the Magic were the last team I took. So we've already got a bet.
That was my best pick of the draft. I was very strategic.
Let them. They were the last overall pick. You just waited for them to fall into your lap. All
Correct.
right. Tell the people what are the odds? What do you got for this series?
Well, we have the Magic as favorites at -120. I think. I mean, they've proved us wrong all year. What else can you say? I mean, the biggest difference here, obviously, is RJ's pitching and Grant's hitting. Right. That's the big factor here. RJ, that clip of him striding 8 feet. That's just ridiculous. I mean, the ball is directly on top of you.
Yep.
It's just very difficult for these guys to adjust to. I can't have they played this year, Magic and Eagles? They haven't, right? So Eagles have not seen Walgate aside from maybe one of them, Dallas, in the All-Star game, maybe.
Possibly, yeah. But
Or, in tournaments maybe as well. But
right.
Yeah.
You are obviously short shrifting, if that's the right phrase. Contribution by our guy Trevor Bonham, who has been remarkable. What a bounce back season for him. Do they have a comeback player of the year award in MLW?
Good question. I don't remember.
He would win
Maybe.
that home run and the perfect game. Not too shabby. And then what a victory lap for Jack, huh?
First blood in game 2. It is.
He drafts those two guys that you just mentioned, pulled all the right levers, got them all the way here. Bonham, Miller, everything he's done has come up aces, right?
And he's actually had some good hits too.
Yep.
Definitely made you look like an idiot.
Some of those people on the internet who keep saying bad things about him, they're going to have to shut up eventually. All right. Let's me and you. Obviously, we have our bet. If I were to bet again, I would bet on the Magic -120. It just seems, I don't want to be lame, but it does sort of seem like magic what they've been doing. But I've picked against the Eagles. Oh, no, that's not true. I had them. Anyway, I would take the Magic, but we have the bet. Why don't you go ahead? What do you have for a prediction? What do you think is going to happen?
I mean, I've been riding against the Magic all year long, so I'm not going to stop now. I think Dallas takes control of this league in a big step here for him individually and dominates this World Series, and the Eagles win in 5.
Okay. I'm going to go Magic in 4. I think RJ will continue to. I think he'll win 2 games and Bonham will get 1. If who knows what the pitching strategy will be, but I'm going to go Magic in 4. Regardless, it's going to be entertaining to watch, and hopefully over these past week and a half, 2 weeks or whatever, none of you crap heads on the internet have spoiled it from those of you who have been there, and it'll be a nice surprise for everybody. Closing thoughts, Trevor. What do you got to say? Anything?
I mean, the series comes down to how the Eagles handle Grant Miller. That's it.
Yeah, we've said on more than 3 occasions it is malpractice if you give him anything to hit. I think he got one pitch to hit in the ALCS and 3-run homer, if I recall correctly. All right.
Right.
Appreciate everybody joining us. You're going to see Jimmy Knorp do a little breakdown and some predictions, and you're going to see a Q&A session with Grant Miller and Dallas Allen. all discussions I had with the players were done before the series was played. So everything's genuine. Trevor, good to see you again, buddy, and good gambling, everybody.
See ya.
All right, we're going to continue on. We've got an insider. Trevor and I are just a couple of bozos making guesses. We got a real live expert over here who's going to help us break it down, joined again by our friend Jimmy Knorp. Jimmy, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. It's cool to be on the show, especially when like games haven't been played yet. So all my predictions will be legit. That's what I actually think. So
Excellent. All players who show up on this particular show, they're all showing up before the series has been played. So I think it's cool it's done this way. So we're going to do our best to get as many people as we can. It's a little weird not seeing McLovin behind you, but we'll do what we can do. We'll soldier on. All right, Jimmy, this is exactly where we thought we were going to be, right? Eagles,
Yeah.
Magic, Atlanta, World Series. They were actually, as far as gambling goes, they were the third pick in each league before the whole thing started. So we've got a bunch of underdogs. Our line, if you haven't seen it already, we've got the Magic as a minus 120 favorite. Your initial thoughts on that? What do you think? Do you think we have that number right?
yeah, I think it'd probably be like a pick 'em for me, so that's pretty close. But if anything, I would personally actually probably favor the Eagles, but that's
Wow.
just my opinion on it. Yeah.
That's why we bet, because there's difference of opinions. All right. Just a few questions. Give me your thoughts on whatever you want as we go along. First question, aside obviously as other than the huge managing mismatch with the Magic having manager of the year Jack, what would you say the Magic's biggest strength is in over the Eagles?
Biggest strength is they definitely have the best hitter in this series for sure, that being Grant Miller. Anytime that guy comes up where they have to pitch to him and there's runners on base, it's going to smell trouble for Dallas or Blade, whoever's on the mound for the Eagles when they have to go at him, because that guy, he's tough to get a wiffle ball past. He's one of the best hitters in the sport for a reason. So I wouldn't be shocked to see a couple of hits from Grant Miller.
Okay. Sidebar, was a little part of you thinking Cratch was going to walk him when first and second?
Yeah, it's hard because I actually wasn't at the series. Normally I'm always there watching, so I don't know. Maybe Cratch felt like he had his number that day. But when I saw the pitch, again, I don't know what the count was. I don't know anything but a slider down the middle to Grant Miller there. Doesn't seem like a great pitch. Obviously, you can't give Cratch too much of a hard time. He's probably the MVP of this league this year, and he just made one mistake there that hurt him. And you also can't win when you don't score, and the Preds didn't score that game either, so that definitely didn't help.
Yeah, Trevor and I early in the season, I don't remember the context, but we were talking about an instance where maybe even walking Grant with the bases loaded might actually be a good idea. But
Yeah.
okay, let's go from the other side of the coin. What's the Eagles' biggest advantage over the Magic?
Yeah, I think the reason the Eagles are here is because of their hitting depth. I mean, that team goes underrated in my mind as a guy who's faced that lineup countless times in my career and countless times this year. There's no easy outs. Landon Urgitis is one of the best four hitters in the league. That guy, while sometimes his swings might not look the best, he finds a way to get it done, and he's a stressful at bat. Like in the playoffs, I can't even tell you how many balls Landon was fouling off of me, making me throw extra pitches. And in a 5-game series where you got RJ and Bonham going 3 games, if it goes to 5 games, one of them's going to go 3 games. Like those extra pitches are going to add up, especially because all 5 games, if necessary, are going to be played on the same day. So that depth, I mean, they put the ball in play, they make things happen. They're going to make the Magic make plays defensively, and that's something that in big games, big moments, pressure situations, every ball put in play is going to be a big ball. So Eagles' ability just to put the ball in play, and all 4 guys, tough at bats up and down that lineup.
I'm going to give another shout out to Landon. In the preview of that series, I said some things that were maybe not super complimentary about my opinion of his hitting, and he was great. He put a lot of balls in play. All right. If you were the manager of the Magic, is there anything you would do differently than what they typically do? Something that you would do that would give them a better shot at winning?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Jack manages this series, because obviously in the ALCS, they won game 1 and they went to bottom, which I liked. I did agree with that move, but it'll be interesting in the World Series, say they lose game 1 and they lose like 1-0 and RJ still looks good. do you go to Trev there? I mean, RJ's been so good all year. It seems like if you go to Trev and then you go down 2-0, we've never seen a team come back from 2-0 in MLW. So the loser of game one needs to win game two. So it's going to be interesting to see how Jack manages that bullpen. Also, I love Jordan Curdy. He's my guy. But I just think AJ Ackerman's putting better swings on the ball, especially when I faced both of them earlier this year. Like Ackerman was consistently good at bats where I felt like myself and Trey and even Jonah Heath on the mound were Curdy was kind of an easier out for us. So I'd like to see Ackerman probably get more of those at bats over Curdy.
I did message with the King a little earlier in the week, and his intention is to get a home run off of Dallas in the series. Just to let you know, that's his intention.
I hope he does. I love Curdy, but not an easy task.
Same question over here, management wise. Any changes or decisions you think you'd make?
It's tough. I mean, I feel like Dan's management is actually a huge reason why the Eagles are where they are. So honestly, whatever Dan goes with right now, I'd probably trust him. I mean, what was it against the Mallards? Like they lost game one and they went to Blade Walker with their season on the line, and that shocked me. But Blade went out there and he threw a shutout. So tip your cap to Dan, and obviously tip your cap to Blade for throwing such a good game there. So honestly, I mean, I think all four guys, no matter what happens in that lineup, I wouldn't change that lineup. All four of those guys would play all 5 games if the series went 5 games to me. Even if, say, like Landon's 0 for 12 through 4 games, I'm probably not taking him out of that lineup. So I think Dan actually has an easier job managing this series because there's not a lot I really think he needs to do or change. While Jack, there should be a lot of different thoughts running through his mind.
All right. Who right now, in your opinion, is a better pitcher? The young kid or Bonham? Right now, who's throwing the ball better?
That's a great question. I've said since the beginning of the year, I think Bonham is one of the most underrated players and pitchers in MLW. He just finds a way to get the job done, but I can't go away from what RJ has done all year. I mean, at the beginning of the year, the guy was actually unhittable. Nobody could touch him. It's the combination of him just being able to throw strikes, and Mike, I can't explain this. Like, when he lets go of the ball, he is on top of you. Like the ball gets to you so quick. So being that tall, having that advantage, I think RJ is probably the better pitcher right now.
If graphics department is on the ball, they'll drop in here that picture that Kyle put together where he was basically 8 feet in from the rubber when he releases the ball.
Yep.
It's got to be a huge advantage. All right. We'll wrap up here. Prediction time. You said you're actually leaning a little bit towards the Eagles. So what do you think?
I'm going to go Eastern Eagles in 4 games. Will be my prediction. I don't think this one goes 5. The Magic are going to have to find a way to beat Dallas. They're going to have to find a way to beat Dallas in this series. I think if they can do that, they have a shot. But my prediction is Dallas will probably go games 1 and 3. I think he'll win both of those games, and I think Blade Walker will take either game 2 or 4 for the Eagles to win this 1 and 4.
All right. There you have it. You have any other thoughts about it? That anything you want to say that I didn't ask?
No, I think I'm just excited, man. I'm excited. I haven't got to watch the World Series in a couple of years now. I'll be excited to hear from the guys. Obviously, I'm not in Atlanta, but I'll be getting updates and hearing what's going on. And I'm excited. I'd be happy if either team wins. Like the Eagles, they deserve it. A great young team. The Magic, although there's been conception about how the team was constructed, all 6 of those guys are great guys, and I'd be happy whoever hoists that trophy at the end of the year.
All right. That's what we get from the insider, from the expert, Jimmy Knorp. Thank you once again for stopping by and helping us out.
Absolutely, guys. Anytime.
All right, back for another week. 6-2. Lost my second row last week, but I do have good news. While I may not be undefeated totally on the season, I am still undefeated while watching the games in Michigan. Last 2 weeks I watched the games. I was in Dallas, Texas, so I'm back in Michigan this weekend. We're going to look to stay undefeated here in this state. And because of that, I'm going to go against the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to take the Eagles -3. That's actually not my real reason. Mostly, I just think Eagles are probably the most complete team in the NFL right now. A.J. Brown, I have him in a lot of fantasy leagues. He is balling out, almost carrying that offense. Hurts looks better. Dallas, still a good team. I went against them a couple weeks ago on the road at San Francisco. They're on the road at Philly. I think Philly's probably a more complete team than San Fran right now. I mean, San Fran's lost 3 in a row. I mean, Jalen Hurts greater than signed Brock Purdy. I don't think this is going to be a blowout by any means. I I wish it was 2.5, not 3, because I feel like it could possibly be Philly by a field goal. But I'm going to take the Eagles at home. I think they're going to keep up their winning streak. I think maybe if this game were in Dallas, I might even pick the Cowboys to win. But I like that it's in Philly. They're hot right now. Trayvon Diggs isn't there to watch. A.J. Brown, I think he's going to have a big week. Let's, undefeated here in Michigan. Let's keep it going.